Hi, welcome back to Holly Hobbies. Let's craft a scarecrow wreath for your front door to celebrate the fall season and welcome guests to your home. I will walk you through the steps to make your very own scarecrow wreath using a bow tie ruffle method. This is beginner friendly and you will just love the results. This wreath will be a perfect addition to your autumn and Thanksgiving decor. So grab your supplies and let's get started. Hi, welcome back to Holly Hobbies. Today we're going to do a really fun technique for a fall wreath, and I have a few supplies here that we're going to be using. And I found this really cute scarecrow sign from the Dollar Tree. We're going to use a 14-inch wire wreath frame. You can find these at the Dollar Tree as well. And I have this two different colors of this poly burlap mesh, this golden yellow and a tan. And I have some various ribbon that we will be using as well. So let's have some fun and get started with a really fun technique. So we're going to start with our poly burlap mesh, and we are going to need to use a wood burning tool with this. And I just got this really cute wood burning tool holder that I got from Susie's Wreaths and Things, and I absolutely love it. It holds your wood burning tool, and I think it's a lot more sturdy than this little holder that they come with. I was always feeling like I was going to burn myself. So we are going to need our wood burning tool with this kind of mesh, because this will help seal the edges and keep it from fraying. And I work a lot with this kind of mesh. I think it's really fun to work with, and it just has a really cool farmhouse look to it. And I am using a tempered glass underneath. You always have to use that with your wood burning tool. And I have my rotary cutting mat underneath my tempered glass to use as my guide for cutting. So for this design, we're going to be cutting our mesh into 12-inch pieces. So we're going to be cutting our mesh into 12-inch pieces with our wood burning tool. And that way it's going to seal those edges really good. And it's going to help prevent this style of mesh from just unraveling on you. It just gives it a nice little seal. I have all the links for all of these supplies in the description box of the tutorial. And I'm going to cut each color. We're going to need about 18 to 20 pieces of each color cut into 12-inch strips. So I'm going to start prepping the mesh, and then we'll get started with this really fun technique. And cut the whole roll of yellow, and now I'm going to do the same with this tan poly burlap mesh. Just going to get a nice clean edge here. And I'm going to cut this roll all up, and then we are going to start our fall scarecrow wreath. So let me finish cutting up this roll and I'll be right back. So I'm cutting my tan up in 12-inch pieces. I'm just making a nice steady flow down my 12-inch line. And it gives it a nice seal edges with this poly burlap mesh, and it will keep it from fraying, which is really nice, because if you tried to use a rotary cutter or scissors, it would just come apart on you. So you've probably seen a lot of people using these. They're really fun, and it just opens up a lot of possibilities in the crafting mesh world. You can do a lot of cool things with it. And I do have all the links to all my favorite crafting supplies in the description box and all my tutorials. And I'm going to continue. I have a little bit more to cut up. And then we're going to have some fun and get started with this really fun and easy technique that we're going to use. It's a different technique that I've used on any of my other tutorials, and I'm always having fun trying new and different techniques. So we're going to have some fun with something new today. And I'm going to finish cutting this up and I'll be right back. All right, so we're going to get started, and we're going to do a really fun and easy, it's going to be called a bow tie ruffle method. And let me go ahead and take my tempered glass off here. And we have a 14-inch wire wreath frame. So we're going to name the bars from the outside going in 1, 2, 3, and 4. And for this design, we're going to be just using the number 2 and the number 3, and we're going to alternate around the wreath. Those are the only 2 bars that we're going to be using. So we're going to start with our mesh. Now, I just have these zip ties from Hobby Lobby. I'm getting low. I need to order some more zip ties off of Amazon. I have ones that I like where you get a variety pack, and normally I would use a little bit longer of a zip tie, but this is all I have, and that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to take my mesh, my 12-inch mesh, and I'm going to lay it curl side down. And I'm just going to tuck the end under just a tiny bit, and we're going to very gently just ruffle it to the end. And see how I have this end tucked under as well? And it almost looks like a giant bow tie. So we're going to take our zip tie, and we're going to start on we'll start on the number 3 for the first one. And we're going to place that right on top of our zip tie. And we're going to secure it to that number 3 bar. And we're going to clip off our zip tie. And we won't be able to see that green coming through when this is all said and done. But see how it just looks like a little bow tie. So we're going to alternate. So we were on the number 3 bar, and now we're going to go to the number 2 bar. Let's get our zip tie ready, and we're going to do that same exact method. Curl side down, and we're just tucking that in just a tiny bit, and we're just pinching and grabbing in big pinches to the other end, and I'm going to tuck this in under as well. And we have another bow tie, and see how these are just tucked under just a tiny bit. So we have another bow tie ruffle. That's what we'll call this, the bow tie ruffle method. And we're going to place that into the zip tie, which we're alternating between the number 2 and the number 3. And we're going to secure that and clip that off. So we've placed our second bow tie ruffle on our wreath, and we're going to keep following that same pattern in the alternating the colors and alternating the bars. So now I'm going to be getting my zip tie ready on the number 3, and I'm going to go to my yellow, and this is a very simple method, and it just really looks so pretty when you get all these bow tie ruffles on, and it just gives it a really fun and neat look. So now I'm on the number 3, and I'm just going to keep going. And now I'm securing it on that number 3 bar. So I'm going to keep filling this up in my alternating colors. And look at, we barely have 3 of them on, and look at the look that we're getting here. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to keep going and just going to keep alternating. And now I'm going to come back to that number 2, and you're going to get it really full and fluffy, and it's just going to give it a beautiful look. I'm going to just slide that over towards that crossbar there, and I'm going to work going around this way. So I have this one's on the number 3, and now I'm going to go to that number 2 bar. So I'm just going to continue with all of this, the same pattern. Let's do another one together, and just tucking that other end under just a tad, and we have this big giant bow tie ruffle. And once we push them really close together, you're not going to see those zip ties. And look how pretty this is starting to look here. Let's give it a little more. And it's up to you how tight you want to do it. If you want to get it super tight, you can. If you want it a looser look, then you just don't do as many. So I'm going to continue in this pattern till I get all the way around. So right now I'm moving along, working my way around the wreath, and look at how pretty that bow tie ruffle technique looks. I mean, look at it's getting so full and pretty, and we're alternating those colors. And when you flip it over, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 per section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's up to you if you want to make it as 7 or if you want to make it less so it's spread out a little bit more. It's completely up to you. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with the 7 bow tie ruffles per section. So we've done 2 sections and we have 4 more sections to go. And we will definitely need to cut up a couple more of rolls of this poly burlap mesh. So I'm going to keep going. So our wreath is starting to get really full and fluffy, and I did have to cut a half a roll of another yellow and a half a roll of another brown to get it at 7 bundles per section. And like I said before, you don't have to do it this condense. It's up to you if you want to spread it out a little bit more, or however many bundles you want to add per section. So we're on this last section, and we'll go ahead and do this one together. And I'm going on the number 2, and I ended with my yellow, so I'm going to grab my tan, curl side down, and I'm going to tuck it under and just lightly pinch and grab to the other side and tuck that other end under about it 1/2 inch or so. And this is going to start getting pretty tight on here as we get into this last section, but it's starting to take form and it's so pretty and full, and it's just going to make a gorgeous wreath. So let's keep doing this last section here together. So this last section, I only put 6 because I didn't want to have the 2 tans here together and mess up our pattern. So up here we'll do a big bow, or we'll do something to kind of help fill this in. You know what? No, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to keep it into the 7 sections. And I'll just end it with the brown, and then we can add our bow where there's the 2 browns. So this will be the very last one here. And look at how beautiful our wreath is coming along. And this might get a little tricky getting this last one in, but you're just going to squeeze it in there. And there we go. So where we have the 2 browns next to each other is where we will do like a bow or something to kind of, so you can't tell that our pattern got a little off there. So look at how pretty and full and just completely fluffy this wreath is in that method. I just think it looks so pretty. And let me go up a little higher so you can see it a little bit better. And look at that. How easy was that? It just took a little time to go around, and I did it 7 per section on a 14-inch wire wreath frame, but it's up to you if you don't want it as thick and full like this. But I mean, it is really just full, and just, you don't see any of those zip ties. It is just condensed, and I really love this look here. So we're going to remember where our 2 browns were, right up here, and that's where we're going to either cover it with a sign or a bow or do something. So I mean, you really couldn't tell. Let me get this little piece that's, you definitely don't want to cut these or pull them because they're just going to unravel. So you can just tap it with your wood burning tool, and that will help with that. So let's get moving on to the next step here. So we have our cute little scarecrow sign from the Dollar Tree, and I'm debating if I want to put it here in the middle or if I want to put him off to the side. And I think I'm going to do him off to the side. I think he's going to look cute. And I'm going to take where I have the 2 browns right there, and I'll cover that up so you can't see that part. And what we're going to do is we are going to attach our sign, and then we're going to have some fun with some ribbon and make some really pretty bows that we're going to attach. And then we're also going to make little straw bundles as well to give it a little accent in our Thanksgiving style wreath. So let's get started and get our sign prepped and ready to attach to our wreath. So we're going to prep our sign, and I do have this floral wire that I'm going to use, 2 pieces, and that will be my wire that I connect this to the frame. And we're going to hot glue it to our board here and cover it with a piece of felt, and that way we will have something to attach the sign to. So we'll just take our cordless Surebonder glue gun with some dab of hot glue, and I'll just put some scrap felt right there over the top and let that dry. And that will just give it some extra reinforcement for so that wire is going to stay on this sign and give us something to attach it with. So we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to attach it to our wire wreath frame, and we are going to keep this one off to the side. So we have everything is dried with our wire here, and we're going to use this wire to attach it to the wire wreath frame. Now you can decide wherever that you want to attach it, and I wanted to go over this double brown here, and I want to do this off to the side. So you know the drill. We're going to get our wire, and we're going to go through the mesh here. Not through the mesh, but we're trying to find the metal frame. And as soon as you get a glimpse of it, you're going to put a piece of wire on each side of your metal frame. And that gives us a place to attach it. So we want to find the right place. I like about there. I'm just going to do a preliminary twist. And I'm going to do that same thing up here. I'm going to just poke through that, pull that mesh aside. I see the wire wreath frame, and I'm making sure that I'm going on each side. So we'll flip it over, and you see I have that wire on each side of the wire wreath frame. And now I can securely attach my sign. I want to flip it over one more time just to make sure that's a right placement. And move that in a little bit, and maybe tighten this one down a little bit more. I'm gonna untwist it. I want to tighten this a little bit more. There we go. All right, so once you get your sign the position that you want, we can go ahead and clip off the wire. Let's make sure that oh yeah, that's cute. It's at a nice little angle. It's off to the side, and I really like that position there. So now we're just going to take our wire clippers, and we will clip, and I'm going to bend this in half and bend it in half again. Same thing with the other side, in half, and we're going to bend that in half. So now we have our sign attached, and I think that looks really cute off to the side like that at a little angle there. And now we're going to get ready to make some really fun, cute bows. And if you see any of this kind of stuff that might be straggling, you could just use your wood burning tool to cut that off. Don't want to use scissors because you don't want it to start unraveling on you. So now we have a great start to our wreath. Let's put that off to the side, and we're going to get ready to do some ribbon bundles now. All right, so our next step is we're going to do some ribbon bundles, and I thought these were really pretty together, and I have two bigger ones that are the 2.5 inches, and these are the 1.5 inches. So 2 1.5, 2 2.5 inches, and we're going to add these to our wreath design, and we're going to make our first ribbon bundle, which is going to be our main ribbon bundle, our bigger bundle. So I'm going to start with this 2.5 inches here, and I have my Bodabra. I have a piece of my floral wire in there ready to go, and I don't have a big fancy bow maker. I have my Bodabra, which I use until I get something else, but it works for me, and I love it. It's simple, it's easy, and I use my crafting mat as my measurement guides. So we are going to start. Now this is one-sided ribbon, so we're going to have to twist it as we go. So we're going to start making 6-inch loops. So I'm going to take it to the 6-inch mark here, 6 inches here with 2 loops. And we're always going to be twisting it to get that right side of our bow showing. And we're cutting our 8-inch tail here. And now we're starting with the plaid, and we're going to do this the same lengths. We're going to do our 8 inches tail, and we're going to continue with the 6-inch loops. Now this one is 2-sided, so we don't have to worry about twisting it. And we're going to continue with the 6-inch loops on this next plaid ribbon here. And we're doing, this is the 1.5. So now I'm going back to my 2.5-inch ribbon. This is one of my favorite ribbons that I get from Hobby Lobby, and I know everybody's seen this ribbon, and it's my absolute favorite. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna do our 8-inch tail here. And now we're gonna go back and we're gonna do 5-inch bows, or 5-inch loops. And this is 1-sided, so we're gonna have to go ahead and twist it again. And now we will do 5 inches. So I'm gonna bring it to right there. And I have it on the 5, and I'm going to be twisting it. And this is where the bow maker comes in handy, because to me, it's just too hard to hold everything in your hand. And now we're going to take our last ribbon here, and we've done 2 6s, we did a 5, and now we're going to do a 4 with this last ribbon here. And we're going to keep our 8-inch tails here. All right, so we have our bow, we have the 2 6 inches, a 5, and the 4, and they're all double looped. And now we're gonna get our wire. I'm gonna push it down, going to cross our wire at the top here. And I'm gonna lift this bow out of our bow maker. It's nice and thick, so we wanna pinch it really good. Pull it nice and tight. And we'll give it a couple twists. And then we still have this piece of floral wire that we can use to attach it to our wreath. So we're gonna attach our bow, and then we're gonna fluff it out once we get it on our wreath. So let's move these off to the side. And this is gonna be our biggest of the bows. So let me go grab the wreath. All right, so we placed our first main bow right here about the 9 o'clock position, and we're gonna make a couple other ones. We aren't gonna make them quite as big as this one, but we're gonna add a couple more accents to our wreath. Five more of these cute little ribbon bundles that I made, and we are just going to start attaching them to our wreath wherever that we think they need to go. So I want to add another one down here, and I'm just dividing that mesh where I can see my bar, and I'm on each side of that bar, and I'm going to twist it, and then we will finish those Chenille stems on the other side when we're done with our ribbon bundles. And there's no right or wrong with these. You're just going to place them how many that you want into your design. Yeah, I don't think it needs another one. I like that right there. The 2, the 3 down here. And let's go ahead and do some fun little, I wonder if we can put that one up there through this hole here. Oh, there we go. That's what we'll do. We'll add that one right there into the hat, and we can trim this down. So I just put that right through that hole in the sign, and we're giving it a couple twists, and then we can always put a little something in the center of that ribbon bundle. Oh, there we go. Look how cute that looks. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to finish off those Chenille stems. We're going to flip our wreath over. And for these, we're just going to twist just like we did with the frame, and we'll cut it about 1 inch. We'll bend it in half and then bend it in half. So I'm going to finish off all these. And we're also going to use some hot glue on that sign there. All right, we're getting there. I just want to add a couple more little finishing touches to our design here. Make sure, let's cut these a little bit down. And we'll hot glue that down so that one doesn't spin around, and we'll add a little accent there in the middle. All right, I'm really loving this design so far, and I hope you are too, that you're having fun with your bow tie ruffle design. So now we have some straw, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna make little straw bundles that we're just gonna add a little texture into our wreath. We could leave it like this and it's super cute. We just need to do a couple little accents here and here. And we're gonna make some straw bundles, and this is gonna be our final finishing touch. So our bow tie ruffle scarecrow wreath is starting to take form. I went over into my fall tub and I found these little flowers here. I think I got these at Hobby Lobby, little paper flowers. Just gonna add a couple little accents here to our wreath. And I'm going to use my hot glue gun. And these have got a little bit smashed, so let's just kind of fluff them up a little bit. You can add a flower, you can add whatever it is that you choose as your accent. And I did want to hot glue this down a little bit just so it doesn't keep turning on me. Add some hot glue there, and we're going to give that a little accent right there in the middle. And I'm going to cover up this other hole over there on that side with some hot glue, and I'm going to put that little paper mum right there. So that gives our little scarecrow that covers up those holes, gives our scarecrow a little fun extra flair there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to just add the last finishing touch. And what I want to do is I want to just give this wreath a little texture. And let me get some of my hot glue strings out of the way. And this is going to be our final touch here. And I'm going to take my my Chenille stems, and we're going to take this straw here, and we're going to make little bundles. And you can get this at any craft store. I believe I got this from Hobby Lobby when I did my old fence board scarecrows. And let's just open this up here. There we go. And what I want to do is I want to make little bundles, okay? And we're gonna stick around, let's just do like 10 inches or so. And this does not have to be exact, okay? Some straw here. And we can trim it when we're finished. And we're just gonna literally we're just going to put it in a zip tie, and we're just making little straw bundles here, or a Chenille stem here. And I'm just going to take a clump of my straw, and I'm just making this cute little straw bundle here that we're gonna add, and it's just gonna give our wreath a little texture. And we're just gonna add a couple of these, And this is going to be our final finishing touch to our design here. And you can leave it like it is. You don't have to do this. I just think I'm always about texture, and I love having different textures in my designs. And see, we're just going to add those just like we did those little ribbon bundles, but we're doing little straw bundles. And we'll do this one as well. And now we're going to add these to our wreath design. And you can add as many as you want. You don't have to add them at all. Whatever you want to do. I just want to give a little pop of texture at different spots of our wreath. So let's start with putting one in here, and we're going to add them just like we did our ribbon bundles. And we're going to pull those layers of deco mesh aside until we see a piece of the wire frame. And we're going to add this little pop of texture. And look at how fun that's going to be in our design. Just, it's very subtle, but it just really has a fun impact. And we're just going to add a couple of these around our design. And I hope that you're having fun with your design. I know I've seen the scarecrow sign around. I passed it by a few times at the Dollar Tree, and I finally said I have to do a fall design with him because he or she is so cute, and she deserves to be highlighted on a wreath. So look at how fun that is. Just adding a little pop of texture in our design. And I'm only going to add a couple of these. I don't want to add too much. We're just having a little fun here. And look, it just gives it a little fun. And you could trim them as you want. If they're too long, just trim them down a little bit. And let's see, where else should we add? Should we add another one maybe over here somewhere? I think this is probably good up here. And I think we'll make one more that we'll add. And we'll try to squeeze this one in right around here. And look at how fun. That just gives it a little bit extra there. And that is going to complete our design today. I like that little pop of straw coming out, and I don't think I need to add any more. I think that's gonna do it. I can always add one here, but you know what? I think it looks perfect just like it is. And that's gonna complete our fall design today. And I hope you had as much fun making your wreath as I did mine. And we learned a fun and easy technique with the bow tie ruffle. And we added some fun texture and a beautiful big feature bow. And I hope you'll come back to my channel and craft with me some more. Thanks for watching Holly Hobbies, from my heart to yours. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow for more wreath and crafting ideas. Thanks for watching.